So you need to practice your speech. Have you ever thought about how to practice a speech? This is what a lot of people think practicing a speech is. Okay, so first I'll get up there and I'll say my attention getter and I'll be like, okay, and then they'll laugh and then I'll do my thesis and then I'll do my preview points. Okay, then I'll do it. That's not practicing a speech. That's thinking about practicing a speech. Today, I'm going to talk you through the 4-step process of how to practice a speech. So let's jump over to my handy dandy presentation because that will help me talk you through this. Okay, so how do you rehearse a speech? Well, I have a rule of thumb for how many times you should rehearse a speech, and you're not going to like this, but you should rehearse your speech at least one time per every minute the speech should last. So if you have a 3 to 5 minute speech, you should rehearse your speech 3 to 5 times. But it takes quite a bit to get to the point where you're rehearsing. So let's talk through the 4-step process for rehearsing a speech. The first step in rehearsing a speech is to sit and simply read your speech. That's all you're going to do. You're not speaking it, you're just reading it. I have my outline right here. I'm working from my keyword outline, so I'm going to read it and fill in the details as I go. So on my outline for my introduction, I have 30 years ago avalanche, but that's not all I'm going to say. I'm going to say it probably sounds silly, but 30 years ago, the word avalanche changed my life. I want you to understand how my victory in the 4th grade spelling bee led me to strive for excellence. The first thing you need to know is why winning the spelling bee was such a big deal. And then you need to okay. So what I'm doing here is I am getting accustomed to the feel of the words in my mouth. I'm getting accustomed to the feel of saying them out loud. You may have words in your outline that are hard for you to pronounce or that you constantly stumble over. So what I'm doing is familiarizing myself just with the content. Now, after I sit and read, I'm going to sit and speak. So now, instead of just reading the content, I'm going to start focusing on projecting the content. I'm speaking it to someone, to an audience. So here I go again. 30 years ago. It might sound silly, but 30 years ago, the word avalanche changed my life. Today, I want you to understand how winning the 4th grade spelling bee changed everything about my academic life. To understand that, first you'll need to know why it was such a big deal, and then you'll need to know what changes happened because of that event. So let's talk about how I won the spelling bee. Winning the spelling bee was really important to me because I really didn't think of myself as that smart. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? I'm talking through my speech. I'm speaking it. Now, it's no big deal to sit and speak. It's like dancing while you're driving. I'm an amazing dancer when I'm sitting down. It's a whole different story when I'm standing up. And that is the next step. Note, while you're sitting and speaking, you need to start timing yourself. Because I don't care how profound you are, if your speech is only supposed to last 5 minutes and you go 7, no one likes you. Start timing yourself. Next step, we're going to stand up. Now, I can't see myself here, so I'm just going to assume that I need to adjust my camera. All right. When I'm standing and speaking, I'm going to start working on speech-related, public speaking-related elements. So I'm also going to work on my posture. That's an important element of public speaking. All of you should be giving your speeches standing up. So here I go. Now, I got these notes. What am I going to do with these? What if I'm nervous and they're shaking? What about... Here, look, let's do this. Let's get a clipboard. Let's get a notebook. Let's get something solid to sit our notes on. I'm going to hold that. Now, what do I do with my hands? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these hands. I'm just going to drop them to my side. This is your starting point. This is where you come back to when you're speaking in public. You might gesture, you might get excited, but you know where you come back to? Right here. This is it. Do you need to look at your notes? Raise your hand and look at your notes. Now, if you don't need to be looking at your notes, put them down. Do not hold them up here where we can't see you. I want to see your face, even in the camera. So when I stand and speak, I'm going to do the same thing I did when I was sitting and speaking. I'm projecting the words, and I'm practicing all the other nonverbal things that go along with public speaking. And that gets me to step number 4. This is when I rehearse. So all of those other things are not rehearsal. Once I've done all three of those steps, I am now ready to rehearse my speech. And when I rehearse my speech, I'm going to approximate the context. Now, what does that mean? It means I'm going to get as close as possible while I'm rehearsing to the actual situation that I'm going to be speaking in. I'm going to set my camera up. I'm going to record myself. I'm going to stand. I'm not going to make my family come watch me yet, but I'm going to stand here. I'm going to get myself ready. I'm going to turn my timer on. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to practice my presentation. This is the rehearsing step. This is what you do 3 to 5 times. I'm going to go through my entire speech. Chances are you will have gone over your attention getter and introduction so many times, but I would be willing to bet money, not that I have that much, that you won't practice your conclusion nearly as much as you practice your introduction. And I'll guarantee you, the greater the audience will be able to tell. So practice your conclusion too. Now, if you want to get good at public speaking, you need to know your content well. That means you need to rehearse a lot. Of course, you want to rehearse with people you love. Your mom, who thinks everything you do is amazing, rehearse with her. Your little sister who laughs at all your jokes, yes, rehearse with her. It's an ego boost. If you want to get better at it, you might rehearse with your peers, your roommate, your best friend, your significant other. But if you really want to get good at public speaking, you rehearse with people that you fear, not like you're actually afraid of, but people who make you a little nervous, like your brother who thinks you're an idiot, or your supervisor at work. Those are the kinds of people you want to rehearse with if you really want to get good at public speaking. So now you know the 4 steps of public speaking: sit and read, sit and speak, stand and speak, and rehearse. I hope this helps you with your planning on your speeches, and I wish you all the best in rehearsing, because it's awkward, and you might as well just get used to it, because it's going to be awkward and a little bit painful, but you will be fine. It'll be fine.